Yeah, we are Climatex, and our goal is to accelerate the transition into circularity. My name is Patrick again, and
I'm Fredy.
Fredy, welcome. So my question first, who knows Climatex already? Please. Oh, okay. So important. That looks like a lot of
work
potential.
to do, I guess.
A lot of potential. I like it. So actually, my second question was, who has used already a product with Climatex inside? But I think I don't have to ask that question. But that's fine. So a lot of potential for us. Quickly on who we are a small company based in Switzerland, and as said, we're doing technologies that are circular. We really like mountains, as we are from Switzerland. We like these mountains, but we do not really like these mountains. And unfortunately, they exist as well. So as you all know, the textile industry still takes a heavy burden on the environmental impact. And we see it in a positive way. Currently, there are 100 million tons every year that are produced, and only 1% is recycled. And we have a solution to make this 99% also recyclable. And how that works, we're going to show you now.
May I interrupt you for a second?
Yes.
Can you move that a little away, because sometimes it feels like if it's touching your, and it's easier to listen to your.
Better now?
Yes, thank you.
Good, very good. Yeah, and how we do that, we're going to show you now. And we're not the only one who have seen that. As you probably have heard, the EU is also working towards that direction. And if we look at the problems that we have identified, then one of them is that we have a lot of mixed materials. 73% of all. Yeah.
Too much energy in your microphone. Please do not lose it. We're going to do the textile.
Can I have a drink there? So 73% of all fabrics are blended fabrics, which are today very not possible to take apart again. Another thing is that a lot of harmful materials are inside the fabrics
Das
itself.
geht nicht besser, oder? Kann ich ihm das
Auch
geben?
nicht besser. Gib mir doch Mikrofon. Can I have a microphone?
Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah.
As well as we need to make the speakers comfortable, we need to make you as listeners comfortable, and I think we need to interrupt for a second. Sorry for that. And if there is somebody from the hall organizer speaking, we do a short pause.
Okay. Better?
Yes.
Okay.
But I said it before, so maybe.
Yeah. All good. Yeah, I said we have three problems identified. First, the blended materials. Second, the harmful substances that are in the textiles. And the third one is the circular, the life cycle management that is still missing in the industry itself. And we are focused on the first two. So we have a solution for the blended fabrics. And we also have a solution for the harmful materials. We're currently working with partner together on the life cycle management part, and we're really confident that we can solve that as well. So if we look at the blended materials, then our solution looks like this, or like this. This is this fabric, and here we have a special technique how we can bring them together. And after their life, we can also put them apart again. And Fredy is the inventor of the technology, and he will now show you how it works.
Yeah, hello again. I hope you can see less or more this module. It's just to explain how it works. Think about the blue part is synthetics. The red one could be nature material, but could be combined all kind of materials, whatever you like. These are combined with a third destroyable material, is the yellow one here. And if you take away the yellow one, it's very simple. We would not do this on the fabric, huh? There are not so small hands and many hands. Then you will see the two layers can be clearly pure separated. So these can be synthetic materials, these can be nature materials, these for grinding, these for de- and repolymerizing. Normally, in many cases today, we have the issue that if a translation from existing fabric is requested, and then people has to start thinking what is in. And if you would have something out, you should think what you put in. So definition of the materials is the first step. Second step is how bring together. This technology is that what Climatex offers. You can combine, as I said, wool, cotton, polyester, polyamide, whatever you like, but you combine it into the structure. What happens if this structure is given? We have done a POC with a Swedish company together. We had done some workwear like this, 200, 400 kilos, sewing, fabric, and also the sewing system is in the locking system done. So after the processing, if this is into the process, to open the textile lock, we need water, temperature, and pressure. If it's missing one of these, it's not opening. The fiber itself of this dismantling material is very stable, chemical-wise, mechanical-wise. There is no problem during the use. Think about your car. If you should change the tires, you would not throw away the car. You just open the lock, you take away the wheel, you change the tires, you bring it back, you lock it again. Same we do. In the mechanical story all over the world, locking is something very important. In textile industry, we miss that. And we implement locking into textiles. And after the processing, if you put it in water with the pressure and high temperature, you will see that. You can divide the synthetic part from the natural part, or whatever you combine. So this is the thing, this is the fact we can offer, this is what we can do.
Most of you have a flyer. I gave out some flyers. You can now take your flyer and do it by yourself. So you have a fabric on the flyer itself. Not this one, the other one. I can show you. So for those who have this flyer, there is a textile on it, and you can try to pull it apart. So you can do the same as I did here on stage. You can do there by yourself just to see that it works. This is a textile that is already been in the process, so it means it has been heated up with water and with some pressure, and then you can do that by yourself here to see that it works really easily.
An important effect of all of this processing, if you sew the fabric with the same system, and we have special instructions to sew, then you will take out all ingredients, all trims, zippers, all. So after this processing, you will see any cutting, any prepared part before sewing, you will have it separated on the table afterwards. You can see this with we do this with a special sewing thread. We have 12 colors onto that. What you can combine as the underlaid thread. You should not change the upper layered one, the outside thread, just one part. You should have opening, and then the sewing line will open and all ingredients will separate, like this. Even all what you put in, all the trims. We have a small film for that. Yeah. Here you see is a normal HD dyeing machine we use for it. All over the world you can do the process. You should not transport fabrics around the world. At any place where you are dyeing polyester, HD dyeing polyester, you can do this processing. We put it into the machine, you take it out, you dry it, and you will see what happens afterwards. The disassembly parts are off. And this is ready to disassemble if it's sewed with this thread.
A very positive outcome is that also The material is super clean. That means it is really ready for recycling. You don't have to wash it again. So it's actually 2-in-1, a washing process and a disassembling process done in one. It takes about 4 to 5 minutes, and as Fredy said, you can do it almost everywhere. So we don't need to invest in huge facilities, in chemical plants and so on. It's really easy to do.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, we have proven that it works many times. We are currently more in the upholstery area, so we do a lot of things in the architectural world, and we now started also to come to the clothing world, where we start in workwear, and we're very open for partnerships also in the area of sport or fashion. So if you are open to talk to us, we are open to talk to you, and happy also to answer your question or answer the first few questions. I see a lot of question marks in your eyes and smiles. Who has the first question?
Can you unmute me, please?
No questions. Everything is clear.
I'm sure not everything is clear. So is Pia around with the microphones? Otherwise, I will do it. Maybe to enhance, so we still have some time until the next presentation. If you have heard Turn as well, right?
Yep.
The presentation before in the Patric.
Yep.
So where do you see the challenges? What's up now? If there are no questions, it might be because, okay, where do we need to start asking questions, or where's
I haven't seen the full presentation, but like if you ask me where do we see the biggest hurdles so far, then it's definitely in the life cycle management process, because everything only makes sense if we can close the loop, and the loop so far is not 100% closed. So this is also why our strategy starts with workwear, because in workwear everything is well organized. Often it's a leasing system behind it, so we know exactly where it's gone, and also when it's coming back, so we can close the loop much easier. So workwear is where the starting point. It's a bit harder probably to do it with the end consumer, because you have to change habits, and habits usually is something really hard to change. But I'm positive, because I remember myself when I was a little boy in the 80s. I went home from school and I told my parents that they have now to start separating glass and aluminium and everything. And my father just looked at me and said, "What? What do you want me to do?" And today it's super normal. So I'm convinced that in a few years it's also normal that you bring your clothes back, and that there is a process behind it. But we need to build it. And we've talked to a lot of potential partners. A lot of people are working on it, and usually then it's gonna happen.
And you know what? Because there are still 25 minutes on that screen, I'm of course getting back to the audience for questions. But when I was taking over from Charles and seeing where comes which topic from and why, I thought the background of you both, for where do you come from industry, how do you get to Climatex, would be if I were in the audience, that would be something which I would be interested in.
Okay, I would say I'm super new to Climatex. I just started 8 months ago. My part is more the marketing and sales part. So Fredy is the inventor of the technology and the CTO, and you have been many years with Climatex.
Yeah, as you see, I'm more old-fashioned, but that has the advantage that I'm coming from working more than 20 years in circular technologies. I started this issue in 2008, first time. Made biodegradable fabrics. We started with biodegradability. So there could be also a question afterwards. I will ask what is in the water if we dissolve this material, for example. All these questions I treated more than 20 years, and I'm textile engineer since 40 years. So I would say I'm grandfather of 2. So I'm responsible for what we do, and I'm thinking more than 2 decades how we can arrange textiles that they became circular, because I believe this is the big issue.
Fredy, you're a grandfather, but you're also a father of a baby here. So, so I mean, my motivation, if you ask me about the motivation, I really like to build something. I've been the last 8 years with On running, and have built the company, and with this project, for me, it's even better than with On, because here we not just selling things, we make something. You know, it's really a new way of how you do textiles, and that motivates me a lot because it's better for the world, and yeah.
The question mark on my face is still there, not because of your background and not of your motivation, but is there anything to ask? So I would love to engage you, asking for where do we start, how do we start? We have the microphone over there. We have our colleague Pia, open microphone. Ideally, we have the moment now for a discussion. And when you start speaking, please say your name, what you're doing, and why you ask your question, please.
Yeah, my name is... Is it working? Yeah. My name is Kundre. I'm working for the company Purify. We do soft mechanical recycling. My question for Climatex is, so you always have to make a double layer fabric?
Yeah, I mean, it does. We have different technology. This is one technology that we showed. But for sure, I mean, I said one of the things we solve is with mixed fabrics. So it makes sense as soon as we mix two different materials.
And why should you not go for one material instead of, let's say, a combination cotton with polyester and then disappear them? Because the moment you have to dismantle them, you also have to resort it. You have to sort cotton and polyester.
Yeah.
So if you replace that to 100% or 100% polyester, you have another solution.
Can I take? The issue is that 75% of the textiles are mixed. Why they are mixed is very clear. You need to the skin side more softness, you need comfort, you need moisture management. If you think about polyester, 0% of moisture management. The moisture itself, it finds in the capillary system, it's not going into the fiber. It creates bacteria, it smells and so on. So of course, 100% polyester fabric is easier to recycle, but today there is not really recycling of polyester if you think recycling without loss of quality. So mixing fabrics is a comfort question. And most of producers, and I know your company, I talked last week with Kurt, it was an amazing talk with him. And Purify is a very interesting thing to see how it works. I believe that the mixing of fibers into a fabric could be also in one layer. Think about the taffetas construction, one by one. If you made the locking system any second weft, you will divide in weft and warp. And you can have weft-wise cotton, warp-wise polyester. Is that what you do in workwear? Very long period, again, to give to the user some quality of use of the fabric. Because we believe that the use of the fabric should be better than today. The performance becomes better and should be recyclable. We would not make any wie heißt das? Wir machen keinen Kompromiss. Any compromises for comfort-wise to make it happen recyclable. This is what is going on into the industry in the last 2, 3, 4 years. 100% solution, but comfort is gone. And then they start to layer with different materials and so on, and then you remain at the same problem. This is our believing.
Okay, thank you. Last question. What do you do with coatings or lamination?
Nothing at the moment, not possible to take it out. We concentrate on projects where we have not such, and if we have a partnership, we have a network, and they are able also to treat such fabrics before opening the locking system, that the coating is gone, and if coating is gone, then we can open the lock and then we can divide the fabric. Thank you for your question. Very interesting.
Hi, my name is Anna. I also have a question. I'm working for Lidl, the grocery store, and I'm buying the corporate fashion for them, the corporate workwear. And our clothes has to be industrial washed. What means it's very hot when it comes to finishing and drying. What about this issue when you say it's unlocking if it's getting hot temperature?
We need about 120 degrees in condition that is under pressure and in the water. This condition you have not during industrial washing. Normally, industrial washing, we see temperatures 75 degrees, some heavy chemicals. We washed around 50 times these fabrics in the POC without any issue. And we HD dried, so let's say in the wet condition in the dryer, it works. No problem about that, because the polymer itself is not opening at this temperature level. The polymer is opening at a higher level. There are other polymers, what is opening already at 60, at 80, at 90 degrees, but this does not fit like the locking system on the tire should not open if you drive. This is the same as if you have the request to having industrial washable. We will guarantee that it is industrial washable. And we have done the POC, there is no problem about that issue.
Actually, we have two different products, one that opens around 90 and one that opens at around 110. And we also have different strength of the yarn. So.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Rayon Labs. I have another question around your polymer. After you subject it to your hydrolysis reaction, can you reuse the polymer?
No, at the moment not. And it's not think like this. All what we put into the sewing thread, into the locking system, we are talking about weave lock. This is a woven fabric, so the lock into the fabric, and the stitch lock would say the locking for the sewing lines. All these materials, included dye stuffs, are biocompatible. So we know not any material it degrades in 3, 4, 5 days, but we know that the polymers, what are going into the wastewater stream, for example, from a dye house, this material would be is treatable in 7 to 8 days in a normal water treating plant. So they will eat it up by bacteria. The same material, the same polymer is used for lens, is used for bakery, is coming also from food industry, used by food industry, and in many, many, many other areas. Very special material, but is not dangerous at all and can be eaten by bacteria.
So essentially it can decompose in a couple of days? Like
yes, yes.
Cool,
but just after the opening, not before. During the use, you have this problem is not existing. Okay?
Thank you.
Christina. Whoa. Yeah. Hello, by the way. Hi.
Hi, Kim. We haven't seen each other in 10 years.
Lovely to see you.
I'm Christine. I'm a circular design trainer. And you said it will be hard to change the end customer's habits, right? So we need the brands to take responsibility for the full life cycle and post-consumer life of the products. And I guess this is a marketing question, but what have you found are the best arguments to change the industry habits?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole topic is all over the place and everyone is talking about it. I think there is definitely a will from the consumer to change something. At the moment, there are just not that many really good solutions. And we believe that this is one of it. We don't believe it's the only one, but we feel like we can have an impact. And on the marketing side, that's a really good question. Actually, my personal goal is really to fill that logo with circularity. So people should think about circularity as soon as they see the logo in the future. And this is also why we want to become a brand like Climatex is, where people already know what stands behind. So as soon as you see the Climatex logo on a garment, you understand that there is a membrane inside and that it has a certain functionality. And this is what we want to create as well with Climatex. And we believe we can be that brand, we can build that brand, because, as you said, people need to understand that there is Climatex inside, and then they have to behave differently with that product than with any other. And I think that's a long way to go. We understand that, but this is what we're working towards to. It has to be done that way. People need these shortcuts, this mental shortcuts, that they understand, okay, this brand, I have to do this and not just throw it away, because it's not waste. And there we're going to take the responsibility to make sure if Climatex is on the logo, that definitely it's possible to, it's circular.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is the end consumer's mind shift, right? And what's the brand's shift? What's the brand's position in this?
The brands, I mean, with the ones we've talked already, they're quite positive. But as said, we just started the project, so we will see in the future. But definitely we need partners who understand and who also believe in the same things that we believe, that the circularity is the solution. And we need partners who are also open to invest with us together in new collections. And for sure, the EU regulation hopefully helps a little bit, puts a bit pressure on it. We will see. But if everything comes together, then we're pretty positive.
Thank you.
It's aligning with the question I would have at the end. But maybe, Katja, to engage you, maybe I saw you were discussing right now. So Katja took one of the Pecha formats, which we just heard, and it is on circularity as well. So please team up afterwards if you do not have any questions right now, because you are not able to join right now. So my last two questions, and still engaging our audience to ask. One would be, because in our prep talks, we prep before this meeting, we discussed about frequently asked questions to accelerate the discussion. And one of those frequently asked questions is, are there materials which are not able to be considered? That is often asked, as I learned.
Yeah, of course they are, more than not. If we analyze, then we see so many times that the input stream, even of blended materials today, are not materials what we blend, what are already recyclable. So if you made a fabric recyclable, you should also think about the input stream. Let's say what kind of polyester I use, what cotton, whatever you use. But the system itself makes possible even to blend two different things. One could be recyclable, the other not. So it's not only to start all or nothing. So many solutions are all or nothing, and the big invest. This is not the idea from Climatex. If you have recyclable materials, even if it's a part, only a part of it, the combination, as we do, in the manner we do it, will give you more performance on the fabric than as you have today. It will allow to at least that part, what is identifiable as recyclable material, a circular material, you can take it out and you can do it. As the Mr. from Purify is asking, if you have pure separable materials in an open structure, they can much more easier open the fibers to reproduce new yarns. If you have a heavy locked and all is very heavy, if you think about jeans and sewing lines in jeans, this is not opening, you will destroy the fibers and all of this. So Climatex system is helping. You can start with a 25 or a 50% input what is recyclable, even if the rest is not. You can start with a lower part of it, but it makes no sense if nothing is in what is recyclable. This you will easily understand. So analyze it, check if you have recyclable parts. If not, make a shift to a recyclable part at least, and then you can start to do it with this technology. It's very fast processing. It's quite easy. Good things are easy.
That would be my last question. It sounds so easy, or more a comment than a question up front. It sounds so easy, so I wish good luck for all of us so that we are understanding exactly what you were saying. So change towards recyclable materials. Yes. And this is what you were saying. The EU regulations will make it hopefully sooner than later recommended and by law, because without the law, unfortunately, nothing really starts changing. So the last question on that one would be, how far do you see the hurdles for us as listeners, for us as brands, for designers, for whoever could be contributive part to your success of the company, for all of us, for change of industry? Where's the hurdle, and what's the call to action from your side?
The call to action is very easy. We're here. Call us or come to us, talk to us. We like the discussion. We also like critical questions. So yeah, let's get in contact. Let's talk. Let's find solutions. Fredy usually has solutions or is willing to think about. So we're definitely here.
I need a more concrete topic.
on where the hurdles are.
Whatever you take. Take a designer or take one of the, we manage the supply chains on a sustainable way. Where do we start? So if we see the circle where it starts with eco-design and with exactly what you were saying, if it's not recyclable, leave it away or change or whatever. So a concrete one because we ask you, but after this day you will be gone. So give us a concrete, what would be in your recommendation the first one, whether for brands or for suppliers or just a concrete?
This is working parallel. The request from the brand who would take responsibility, if there is a brand who will take responsibility for his goods, then he needs a solution.
These up.
Yeah.
They are. Call to action.
Okay. If there is a brand who needs a solution to act in a sustainable way, of course we will bind in producers. Why we are talking together? Why we are coming with producers? Of course, the producers should change something in his production lines, but at the other hand, if the brand is not asking to do it, who takes back? Who does organize, let's say, how garments coming back? So the first step we have done is workwear, as Patric says, and in workwear there are brands, they are willing to implement circular things, circularity, and they will start because they have leasing partners, what can bring back some tons in one time, in one lot, and then they take this back. We will help them with our network to dismantle it, to disassembly. I believe we will see in between 8 to 12 months first workwear products available by this way, that the brand takes the responsibility. This is the first step. The brand gives the input. We will do that, and then suppliers follows, and we help the suppliers with this technology to follow this.
Thank you. Super concrete for myself for the question. If you are fine with that, again, the chance. Do you have any input, any answers or questions? Do I see you raising? No, it was just your badge. Spotted you. So thanks to Climatex.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.